Good evening. Um, Call to order the Board of Education on November 12th. I need approval of agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. 7-0. Thank you. Next up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is the John H. Cryer Award. Matt Helms.
Good evening. For over 3 decades, John H. Crowder dedicated his life to supporting the youth of Union County. In honoring of his enduring contributions and lasting impact, the Union County Board of Education presents the John H. Crowder Service Award every month to recognize exceptional high school students who actively contribute to their school and community. Recipients of this award excel academically and possess a well-established track record of community involvement. Tonight, we award the November John H. Crowder Service Award to Central Academy of Technology and Arts senior. Vadeep Pamada is part of the Medical Academy program. Known for his thoughtfulness and kindness, Vadeep has built positive relationships with his peers and faculty at CATA. In addition to excelling in coursework, he has taken multiple dual enrollment courses at South Piedmont Community College. Vadeep has maintained an impressive GPA and is currently ranked first in his class. His honors and awards include AP Scholar with Distinction, Honor Roll, Junior Marshal, Congressional Service Award Certificate recipient, and National Merit Scholarship semifinalist. He was recently nominated for CTE Presidential Scholar Award. He is an active member of the National Honor Society, HOSA, and Beta Club. His medical-related achievements include serving as team captain for Anatomy and Physiology Science Olympiad varsity team, which won first place in the regional level in 2023. He was on the track team his freshman year, enjoyed swimming, table tennis, and badminton in his free time. Vadeep is actively involved in community service, including Alzheimer's research through the Neuroscience Mentorship Program, which led to a publication in the Journal of Research High School in June 2024. He has volunteered with the Autism Strong Foundation, organized activities for children, and since 2021, he has mentored Ukrainian students in English through the ENGen program. Vadeep has volunteered with DoSomething.org, donated food and clothing since 2021. As an American Red Cross blood donor ambassador since 2023, he has managed patient registration, organized equipment, and ensured post-donation care. At Novant Health Hospital, he assisted physicians and nurses, and as a certified nursing assistant, he has provided patient care at a rehabilitation center, including taking vital signs, helping with wheelchair transport, and serving meals. In 2024, he began a 12-hour EMS shifts, shadowing paramedics on ambulance rides. Pradeep is currently interning at Atrium Health, assisting in shadowing medical professionals in wound care, emergency, and critical care. His strong academics, volunteer experience, and passion for healthcare make him a promising candidate for the future in medicine. Board members, please join me in congratulating Pradeep Pamada as the November 2024 recipient of the John H. Crowder Service Award.
I'm sorry. Next up is recognition, Dr. Plu.
Good evening. We're excited to celebrate two outstanding employees who have been named UCPS Influencers for November. This program recognizes the dedication, passion, and exceptional work ethic of UCPS staff members who go above and beyond daily. What makes the UCPS Influencers program special is that these honorees are nominated by our staff, students, families, and community members, the very people who witness their positive impact every day. This month, we achieved the largest number of instructional submissions we've seen in quite some time, an incredible reflection of our district's commitment to excellence. I am honored to present Richard Webb, a career and technical education teacher at Porter Ridge and Piedmont High Schools, and Sierra Burtis, the College Readiness Secretary at Central Office. I will now invite the nominators to the podium to read the submission and recognize their honorees' accomplishments. Leslie Chu, can you please come up?
Good evening, I'm Leslie Chu, a parent of a recent Porter Ridge High School graduate. I don't have to ask you to come forward because you're already here. Mr. Webb is such an inspirational person. My son was lost when he first started high school. He was getting into trouble and really didn't know what he wanted to do. That is until he took his first automotive class with Mr. Webb. My son connected with him so well that he suddenly had a vision for his future and started to take high school a little bit more seriously. Through Mr. Webb's patience, understanding, and willingness to go above and beyond, he has helped my son overcome his shyness and inability to speak up and talk to others. My son gained immeasurable experience through Mr. Webb, whether it was through his CTE classes, Skill USA Club, and competitions, or just being there for him and helping him through tough lessons. My son graduated last year and is now attending Universal Technical Institute studying auto mechanics. Mr. Webb even helped my son get a job at Advanced Auto. My son still keeps in touch with Mr. Webb, and he is still teaching him. Mr. Webb is a passionate teacher, and I hope more students find the value of being a student in his class.
Good evening. I am Dr. Susan Rogers, Assistant Superintendent for Academics. I am reading the submission that was sent by Jessica Garner, the former Director of College Readiness. Ms. Burtis, would you please come forward and join me? Sierra is an inspiration to all who have the pleasure of working with her. Not only is she a resilient problem solver, effective communicator, and skilled collaborator, she is kind to everyone with whom she interacts. She supports the college readiness team with grace and never loses her cool, even when faced with stressful situations. She is the go-to for many central services people and often fields questions completely unrelated to our department, simply because everyone knows that she will be friendly and helpful and that she probably knows the answer. As her supervisor, I am grateful for how she anticipates the needs of everyone in our department. She takes initiative to create solutions and thinks of new ways to accomplish tasks more efficiently. Our department would not be as nearly as effective without Sierra, and I completely agree. Congratulations.
I will now read the UCPS Influencers Proclamation from the Board of Education and Dr. Houlihan. Whereas the Union County Board of Education values the hard work of each employee within the district, whereas performance is an essential part of district operations, whereas Richard Webb and Sierra Burtis exemplify the performance, dedication, and teamwork essential to the success of the district and its students. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Education for Union County Public Schools, and Dr. Andrew G. Houlihan, Superintendent, hereby proclaim Richard Webb and Sierra Burtis as the UCPS influencers for the month of November 2024. Congratulations on this outstanding honor, and thank you for all that you do to be positive influences on others each and every day.
Hello. Yeah. Tonight, everybody knows Gary, right? Everybody? Yes, everybody. Okay.
Sorry, you have to see my backside.
Tonight is Gary Side's last Board of Education meeting. Sadly, Gary has been on the Board of Education for 10 years. In December, he is going to the Union County Board of County Commissioners. Gary has been a staunch advocate for EC students, teachers, and staff all the time. Yes. You also advocates for our students, staff, and teachers. And we know that Gary will advocate for our public schools at the BOCC. I have to say that. Okay, Gary, you will be missed very much. Yes, yes. Thank you. And this is a gift from all of us. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks. Yes. Okay. Next up is public comments. Okay. At every regular meetings of the board, up to 60 minutes have been allotted for public comments. The board will not respond to public comments. However, a member may ask that the chair obtain clarification. Residents, parents, students, and employees of the district will receive priority on the list of speakers. If a speaker is not present when his or her name is called, the opportunity to speak will be considered waived. Only persons signed up may speak. Speakers may not give their time to another person or have someone speak on their behalf. Speakers may address the board for a maximum of 3 minutes. The board will not hear an open session, complaints about the performance of school personnel issues, and confidential student issues. Should a speaker wish to seek information or share items that may not be shared during public comments, members of the UCPS cabinet staff are available to address your concerns or provide information. Cabinet staff members are seated at the table to my left. Okay. Next up is Wendy Mays.
I myself, having taught here for 17 of my 30 years and even accepting advocacy roles at the district level. This, however, is my first time coming to the board. I only do so because I believe it is important for our students. Additionally, I've been well trained not to present a problem without a possible solution, and I am ready to share that with you. We have many students each year who graduate early from high school. These students work diligently towards the goal, often taking heavier loads of classes at a time, and sometimes even taking additional courses rather than just the standard 4. Yet, when they complete their education, Union County Public Schools fails to give them a timely and appropriate graduation. Ignoring their efforts, the district tells these hardworking individuals that should they wish to walk at graduation, they may come back in June, all while telling them that they aren't welcome back on campus otherwise. The students who put forth this extra effort have goals to go early to college, to enter the workforce, or to join the military. Our early college attendees could come back probably, though it might interfere with the summer course schedule should they select that. Still, it would be a bit odd to leave college to return to high school for a ceremony. Our workforce individuals may not be available. They could be engaged in career training or working at the time of the ceremony, and asking them to request time off so early in their careers is unfair. Finally, our military members, who are giving so much for us, are certainly not afforded the flexibility for this recognition. The latter two groups might very well not have an opportunity to be recognized with pomp and circumstance again. Union County should, like other counties from the largest CMS to other small counties in our state, give them a ceremony to recognize their accomplishment. When confronted with this failure, the only responses I've received from members of the district were, "Union County has never done that," and logistics. The first response is lazy and doesn't reflect a growth mindset. As educators who demand more of our students, we owe more than that, more to them. The second is ridiculous. If Union County Public Schools isn't unable and unwilling to put forth the effort to figure out the logistics, I will volunteer to do it for them. A mid-year graduation is different from the traditional and can look different while retaining the traditional elements. You can combine schools for the ceremony as CMS does. We could use Wingate, a large church sanctuary, or the Ag Center, or we could use the gym or auditorium of one of our high schools. While the district generally mandates companies who financially benefit them, we could share one Amazon link for caps and gowns, or allow our diverse schools and students to select their own and represent a sea of colors. A jazz band or student pianist could play Pomp and Circumstance, and an ROTC, much like this evening, could present the colors. The superintendent, or one of you, could provide brief remarks, and the principals could distribute diplomas. Valedictorian speeches would be unnecessary. You could have a song from a choral group if you wish, then flip the tassels and be done.
Thank you. Next up is Grayson Stoke.
Good evening. My name is Grace Stoke, and I'm a senior at Central Academy of Technology and Arts. I'd like to bring the issues concerning artificial intelligence in public schools to the boards today. I've recently had an experience with AI that was less than pleasant. A teacher of mine had a suspicion that I had used artificial intelligence to write an essay, the result of which was receiving a 0 and being removed from a National Honor Society. This is something I did not do. While I resolved this within the school, I researched the UCPS policy for artificial intelligence, which was limited. The NC Department of Public Instruction has only released guidance on AI in schools this year. I urge our school system to provide district-wide staff development or student education about the appropriate use of AI. While I understand it would be beneficial to embrace these new tools for such things such as study materials, it's important to recognize that as a district, we must be educated on AI as a whole. This is not a mere district-wide issue, as lawsuits have been occurring nationally about the inappropriate use of AI, specifically for AI detection tools. Both staff and students require more education to further understand the appropriate use of AI. For staff, this means knowing how to use AI tools effectively in the classroom, in research, and in everyday life, while also understanding the risk, like data privacy concerns, fairness, and avoiding bias. For students, it's just as important to think about the information AI provides us and understand the ethical concerns it raises. One of the biggest issues I see as a student is watching my peers run their original work through AI detection tools to avoid being flagged as being AI written. Oftentimes, students will dumb down their work to reduce the chance of their work being flagged. While this is well-meaning, this practice is causing more harm than good. With further research, I found that these AI detection tools collect data from anyone who's running their work through a detection system. For example, a piece of work that may have originally come up with a low percentage, like 0 to 10%, when run through again, maybe 5 to 45% AI or higher. Personally, I have tested this with original work from a lockdown in-class assignment after it had been graded. My first score was a 5%, then 61, then 75, and so forth. To do this, we need to integrate AI education into our district. This can mean offering professional development for staff on how to incorporate appropriate uses of AI into their teaching and grading. For students, this can mean providing courses exploring career readiness in relation to AI. Our future graduates will be in a workforce where AI will be integrated into every career. UCPS's Career Readiness Initiative should be proactive towards AI education. Together, let's work to create an environment where AI is used in a thoughtful, ethical, and beneficial manner for everyone. Thank you for your time.
Next up is Cynthia Singleton. Yes.
Good evening to everyone. I would like to speak about an emerging extremely concerning situation. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of the recent totally disgusting and offensive text messages that have been sent to high school and college students in several states, including North Carolina and including Union County. To date, I am aware that text messages have been sent to students at Sun Valley High School and Union Academy beginning on last Wednesday during midday. Although there are variations, most messages are directed to students by name, informing them that they are to report to a plantation for the purpose of picking cotton. The FBI is investigating these text messages as hate crimes and has asked the community not to take this crime lightly and not to take it as a joke. One Union County student admitted to forwarding the message because he thought it was funny. Our children need to understand that this is not only totally unacceptable, it is extremely dangerous. Needless to say, many recipients of these text messages are extremely frightened and upset. Over the weekend, I had an opportunity to talk with the chief of police of one of the local universities in Charlotte to understand their response. That particular university has conducted town halls with the students, have set up counseling sessions where needed, and have impressed upon students and parents to report the receipt of these text messages to the local authorities so that the FBI can be informed. Those who are reporting have been directed to ensure they can get a report number so that the appropriate follow-up can be completed. On a separate and side note, a different but equally atrocious situation has occurred at UNC Greensboro. White-only and colored-only signs have been placed on water fountains on the campus. This is also being investigated. My question to you as the board and superintendent, what action plan has been put in place or will be put in place to address the concerns and fears among students, parents, and the community? And what communication will occur so that those concerned know that the safety and the well-being of Union County students are being protected as far as possible? Thank you.
Next up is Deb Helms.
Good evening. My name is Deb Helms, and I am the parent of 2 UCPS students. Over the last 3 years, as I've stood at the podium, I've normally had a big, long list of complaints and complaints and complaints. But I'm standing here tonight. First of all, congratulations to all of you who just won your reelection. Happy to have you around for another term. I wish Kirkpatrick was here as well. And I also want to say thank you, Gary. You have represented District 3 very well. You are definitely, when you stepped up here, I'm pretty sure everybody knows you, either for good or for bad. You're definitely known. Even before my children were in school, when I started listening to the school board meetings before my daughter entered kindergarten, yours was the voice that was coming across Zoom that was no question to be there. So appreciate everything that you've done for the district and everything that you've done for our students, and very much looking forward to you continuing that on the county commission. And the county commission has definitely gone in the direction of being more supportive of the schools, and I have no doubt that with you there, it's going to be even more supportive, and our students are really going to thrive because of that. And now just to completely switch gears for a minute, I had the opportunity to go to the Veterans Celebration at the Air Show this weekend, and as a former cadet of Piedmont AFJ ROTC 955, I just want to commend the program. I love that program. There were so many polished cadets there. that is a great program. Just wanted to throw that out there. But Gary, we're going to miss you on the Board of Education, but we're looking forward to still being able to hear you at the County Commission and all the things you're going to do.
Next up, Reagan Shaw.
Hi there. Well, I hope you guys understand by now that we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep asking for the same thing over and over again because it's so important. It's especially important now, given what's going on at the federal level. We have a lot of people who are talking about getting rid of the Department of Education and refusing federal funds. Those funds are so critical to our Union County Public Schools. There are organizations operating in very high places that are a front for the private school lobby. And they pretend that they like public schools when they want to, especially when they're in front of a board full of Republicans. They will often pretend that they support public schools, but ultimately there are organizations that are working very hard to dismantle public schools in the U.S. We can see that at the state level here. HB 10, which we have asked you guys over and over again to speak out about, is still on the table as far as we know. That's nearly $500 million, and there's no cap on that. Millionaires can pay for their kids' tuition. We know that that is going to harm our public schools, and many school boards around the state have spoken out about it and issued resolutions and been very vocal in trying to educate people about what's going on. And as a board, you guys are part of the boards that stay silent, and that is unconscionable. You should be speaking out about that. You should be speaking out about what is happening at state level. And we'll continue to ask you to do that because it's your job. You should be doing it. And many school boards understand that that's their job. Gary, I am interested to see what your proposal is for county commissioners. I am glad that you spoke out on a personal level. I wish you would have encouraged the rest of the board to speak out. I know we have had a couple others speak out as well. Sandra Green and Reverend Kirkpatrick spoke out, but that's not enough. We should have had a resolution by the board, and we would like you to encourage the board to do so. It is more important than ever. We're going to keep on saying it, and we're not going anywhere because the problem is not going away. And we lose teachers, we lose educators. We need money for our schools, and we need them to be protected. So North Carolina is really falling behind on that, and you guys have a job to do, and we will be here until you do your job properly in that regard.
Next up is Jen Sanders.
Good evening. So first, I'd like to take a moment and thank the 873 people in Union County that voted for me for a change. I want to say that I was hoping to be an extra voice on the board. Obviously, I wasn't. So that means that Mr. Helms, congratulations on your win. That would mean that you also were on the board for 12 years, and it's about time to stand up and publicly speak out and protect public education. I'd also like to congratulate Mo Green for actually winning the Superintendent of Public Instruction, that at least now we have someone in state legislature that's actually willing to fight for public education and paying our teachers and funding our schools and stopping the bleed. I'd also like to thank John Kirkpatrick for actually bringing the community together. He had an open forum with Mo Green, and no one from the board came, but did go to the Michelle Morrow one, which says a lot. I'd also like to say congratulations to Sarah May. At least you put signs out. I didn't say that part. Am I a little bit annoyed? Absolutely. And I'll say that because You know, when you do the work in the community and you hear from them, all that really matters is you have a letter behind your name. So I'd really hope that you actually decide to do something with that power and privilege that you have. So speaking of funding, you know, now that we have new leadership on the federal level with the president who wants to immediately defund public education, what does that mean for here in North Carolina? Well, North Carolina gets $1.8 billion in federal funding. That's for things like $1.5 million for children with disabilities, $67 million in state grants, $7.5 million for the rural and low income school programs. Last time I checked, we were still a rural county. $3.5 million for the homeless children and youth program, $415 million for special education in general. So it's up to you to fight for public education. And you can roll your eyes and you can give us the looks and look shocked, but we're not going away because your only job is to publicly advocate for public schools. So on that note, I'd also just like to add that public education is under attack. And what are we going to do to protect all of our students here in Union County? How are we going to tell our community that racism, phobias, hatred is unacceptable? Our community is under attack, and it's your position and job to stand up for them.
Next up is Archie Hensley.
Good evening, board members. Congratulations to those of you who actually won re-election. I am actually before you here again as president of the Union County branch of the NAACP. And for the record, the NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Our mission of the NAACP is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic quality of all persons and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. The NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund was instrumental in the success of Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision in 1954 that outlawed segregation in public schools. So our concern for public education, it's not new. Amongst the many issues, the NAACP has actually championed public and equal education and economic justice. They are always at the forefront. I share this information because some have actually questioned why we, the Union County branch NAACP, is asking our elected school board for answers on the issues of taxpayer-funded private school vouchers and our state's dismal teacher salaries. We want to know what is being done by this board to address these current important issues. NAACP members have sent letters to our legislators and have attended rallies and forums in support of public education. As individuals and as an organization, we provide various types of support to our public schools and give generous scholarships to public school students to attend college. We are not new to the cause of advocacy for public education. During the pandemic, this school board actually issued a resolution about the wearing of masks in our public schools. You made it very clear that this was an issue that the board considered of utmost importance. Over the last several months, there have been several appeals from the citizenry for you to issue a resolution opposing these taxpayer-funded private school vouchers. This use of public money for private schools will greatly impact the already dire financial stresses of our public schools. To date, we have not seen a resolution. We would like to thank personally Reverend Kirkpatrick and Mr. Sides for openly opposing these vouchers. It has come to my attention that several of you on the board have actually evolved on this issue, and just like the NAACP, you do not support taxpayer-funded private school vouchers. The citizens of this county really would like to know where you stand on this issue. That being said, we can work together, and we can speak out for all public schools on these important issues. Taxpayer-funded private school vouchers and teacher pay, these issues affect all of us, Black, white, biracial, Democratic, Republican, Independent. So as president of the Union County branch NAACP, I'm asking you to engage in a town hall or a special meeting to address these issues. I will actually be sending you a formal invitation to speak to the citizens of Union County. Thank you very much.
I don't see a timer. Okay, there we go. There it is. Can I start? Okay, I see it. As I talk to people across the state, parents frequently ask me how our school district does so well compared to the rest of the state. How during COVID, we were able to quickly get kids back in school in the least restrictive environment as possible. How we managed to consistently score at the top of outcomes while consistently being at the bottom for funding. My answer is easy and always the same. Our school board and district staff are always making decisions through a lens of what is best for students, their education, and protecting parental rights. In fact, they were already doing this before Moms for Liberty started showing up to these meetings. We just had the honor of being able to support them in what they were already doing so well. I could take up my entire time to give credit to everyone in this room and to some who have moved on, and it would be well deserved. But I'm here tonight to specifically thank Gary Sides. At the very first school board meeting I ever attended, I was sitting in the overflow room watching as Mr. Sides made the first motion for a mask optional policy. A room full of parents had just poured their hearts out to the board, begging for their children's right to breathe freely. When he made that motion, the entire room of parents erupted with cheers and some with tears. I did both. With that one motion, we found hope to return to sanity. But that motion wasn't an outlier. Mr. Sides has consistently championed policies that support what is best for students and their education. He has consistently championed policies that support parental involvement in schools and safeguard parental rights. He did all of these things while frequently under much duress. You all did. But he did it anyway because it was what was best for the students and their education. It should be pointed out that Mr. Sides' support of UCPS students isn't just in the official capacity as a board member. He can easily be spotted at the Coffee Nut, attending sporting events, reading with students, and working lunch duty during Teacher Appreciation Week, to name a few. If you look at the full history of Mr. Sides' time serving on this board, you will see someone who cares about the students and what is best for their education. You will see someone who believes that parents have the fundamental right to direct the spiritual, educational, and medical upbringing of their children and work to protect that right. You will see someone who deeply cares about his community and is willing to sacrifice for the people in it. Thank you, Mr. Sides, for all that you have done for our schools, our students, our families, and our community. You will be missed, but not forgotten, because that would be impossible. Thank you.
Next up, I need a motion for open session meeting minutes from October 1.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next up is the consent agenda. We need a motion, yes.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Superintendent's report.
Thank you,
Dr.
Madam
Hewlett.
Chair, and good evening, board members. I want to start my remarks this evening by also congratulating John Kirkpatrick, Joe Morial, Matt Helms, Sarah May, and Todd Price on being reelected to the Board of Education. It's been great working alongside of each of you for the last 4 years, and we continue to do great work on behalf of our students, staff, and families and employees. So congratulations to you all. I also want to say congratulations to all of Team UCPS. And thank you to our citizens for your support of our 2024 bond, which passed last week. Thank you to our voters for approving the bond. This will give a brand new design for Parkwood High School and a project that will relocate East Union Middle School to the current Forest Hills High School campus. I also want to thank our county commissioners for their support of this project. We really needed this bond to pass in order to complete the full cycle of prior projects. We will continue to provide updates on our investments and projects as we move forward throughout the year. I also this evening do not want to miss an opportunity to thank our UCPS veterans and those in our community who have served our country. If there are anyone present tonight that is a veteran that we'd like to acknowledge you, if you'll please stand to be Thank you very much for your service and sacrifice to our country. This week is National School Psychologist Week. We extend our appreciation to the dedicated school psychologist in UCPS. Your commitment to fostering our students' well-being, their academic success, and resilience plays a vital role in creating a safe and supportive learning environment. Thank you for all that you do. November is also Career Development Month, and tomorrow is North Carolina CDC Day. I want to take a moment to recognize our career development coaches, also known as CDCs. These employees truly are the backbone of our CTE department, and they do an absolutely phenomenal job. We appreciate you in the many ways you help our teachers and help our students learn about careers, work opportunities, and planning for their future. We are just about 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving break, and I would like to say that I am so very thankful to work for a great school system and to live in a phenomenal community, and also to work with the best educators in this state. This is not something I just say, but Team UCPS proves that over and over each and every day. I hope you all have a very safe break, and please take time to relax and enjoy with your family and loved ones. And finally, before I close, I also want to thank and congratulate Mr. Gary Sides. For those of you who may not know, Mr. Sides is the last remaining board member who served on the board when I was hired back in 2016. And Gary, I just want you to know, and from me to you, thank you for your service, for your leadership, for your advocacy on a professional and a personal level. You've been phenomenal, supportive of me, and a great leader for our school system. It's been an honor working alongside you for the last 9 years. Even though you will be in a new role, we look forward to continuing to work alongside of you. And congratulations on being elected to the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you, Gary. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Next is policies and administrative guidelines for review.
Good evening, members of the board. Tonight you have 5 policies and 1 administrative guideline for first review. If you have any questions regarding any of these, I'll be glad to try and answer.
I have a question on the UAS drone policy.
Yes.
Are we saying that a school employee that operates a drone has to be a FFA licensed pilot?
I think we removed that language. There was a change in law that
We did.
Okay.
I think that's struck through on the
We
draft.
did. Yes.
Okay.
No other questions? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next up is board comments. Okay, I will go first. Okay. Congratulations to Sarah, Matt, Joe, John, and Todd. We are blessed with great board members, a great superintendent, and great cabinet members, as well as administrators, teachers, and staff. We respect each other and each other's opinions and beliefs. This is my last full board meeting as chairs, but you are stuck with me because I have 2 more years in my term. We have an amazing school system. The best is yet to come. Yes. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah. So Gary, I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for everything you've done for me personally. So, you were here when I joined the board. You've been a great mentor and guide through my time here, and really appreciate all the work that you've done to help kind of like steer, guide us, sometimes on the right guardrail, sometimes on the wrong guardrails. But certainly I look forward to when Gary hits the talk button and he's about to say something. It's like, hold on for the ride. But no, I really do appreciate being able to serve with you over the last 8 years, and wish you the best of luck in your new endeavors. Also, congratulations to my fellow board members on their reelection. Looking forward to serving 4 more years with you. Thanks.
I would like to, before you go, I just wanted to say also thank you so much. I've only been on here for 2 years with you, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for your service for all these years. And I really look forward to seeing you raise hell over there at the Board of County Commissioners. And again, thank you, and also congratulations to my fellow board members on your reelection as well. I look forward to continuing serving with you.
I just want to say congratulations to Gary, and like everybody else, it's been 8 years on the board with him, and I look forward to working with him on the county commission. And I will see you on Sunday, or continue to see you on Sundays. So, good luck.
Gary, I'd like to say thank you as well. I don't know if you recall, but we served on the PTA together back at Porter Ridge Elementary some 15 years ago. So we've been in this seat for a long time. Today I looked at your website to see how long you were here because I wasn't sure. And your tagline says, I ran to serve on the Board of Education because I believe I can have a positive impact on our school system. And I can say you have. So thank you.
Wait, I'm just going to say ditto what everyone already said. You've definitely added an extra element having you here. And we look forward to having you on the county commission continuing to advocate for the schools. So thank you for everything you've done.
Kind of feels like one of those old Dean Martin roasts. But I appreciate everybody's kind words. I appreciate you folks staying to hear them in person. They tell me a lot of times at home it's hard to tell who's talking, but most of the time when I do, they can tell by the voice. So here I am. Well, I also want to add my congratulations to John and Joe and Sarah, Matt and Todd on your reelection. Look forward to great things from y'all. At long last, the election is over. The time to choose sides is over. Now we must choose to work together. For me, it's the end of the trail. After 10 years serving on your Board of Education, this is my last meeting. As you've heard previously, on December 2nd, which I'll welcome all of you to attend, I will be sworn in as one of your 5 county commissioners. Now, I'm sure you're aware as a county commissioner, more responsibilities than funding public education. There's public safety, supporting our sheriff's department, EMS, volunteer fire departments, zoning issues, responsible growth, planning and zoning, water and sewer, parks and recreation, economic development, among many other things, and things that will come up that we don't even know about today. But what I would like to specifically do is take a few moments to express my goals, my hopes, my aspirations as a member of your county commission for public education in Union County. First of all, the working relationship between this board and our county commissioners have never been better. And I can personally attest to that. I want to commend our board chair, Kathy Heintel, our vice chair, Jimmy, and our senior staff, Dr. Houlihan, and of course the county staff and the county commissioners. I am determined as a county commissioner to see this continue. When I joined this board, it was a very different situation. The two boards were embroiled in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And frankly, the BOE was a hot mess. Things have progressed to where we have now a transparent and professional relationship that our stakeholders deserve. In the next budget, I would ask the superintendent to propose and this board to request no less than a $2,000 a year increase in teacher supplements. Not a final answer, but a significant down payment. One of our elected officials referred to the current UCPS budget as overly generous. Is it overly generous when the county supplement for our teachers ranks 50th out of 115 school districts in this state? Is it overly generous when our total per pupil funding is 113 out of 115? I call this unacceptable. unacceptable to me as a member of the Board of Education and as a county commissioner. Next, in the August Finance Committee meeting, we discussed funding a pilot project of duty-free lunch for our educators, specifically in self-contained classes and elementary schools. I support funding such a project. It is my hope that this day will lead to an eventual full implementation of duty-free lunch for all our elementary and self-contained educators. Next, I support long-term sustainable funding for our UCPS math tutoring program in elementary and middle schools. Why? Because the results are proven. It's what we want in a program. It moves the needle. Lastly, this board requests, I will support placing the request for funding a bond referendum for the construction of a new Parkwood High School on the ballot for the voters to decide. We are blessed with what I truly believe is the #1 school system in our state. UCPS leads in all the measurable categories except one, funding. And I am determined for that to change. But it has to be a team effort. I'm just going to be one of 5 commissioners, and it takes at least 3. We must work together, all of us, to reassure the good people of Union County the value of investing in public education. On a personal note, it has been of the highest honor to serve on this board. I am proud of this board. We have some of the finest individuals serving. Now, we don't always agree. As you can imagine, a board of 9 won't. But we work it out in a manner that honors the people we serve. And frankly, they had to put up with me too, so that's extra. When I was first elected to this board, that was not the case. We are blessed to have a superintendent like Dr. Houlihan. Actually, we have 2 superintendents sitting up here because for a while, this young lady over here was an interim superintendent. And I can't say enough about our staff, not just the good people sitting over here at this table, but all of our senior staff. And a special shout out to our teachers, assistant teachers, our exceptional children's staff, the principals and assistant principals. A job I don't know if I could ever handle. The folks that cook the meals, that drive the buses, that maintain our buildings, that provide office support, and our SROs who make sure our kids are safe, and everybody else that I forgot to mention that make it all work. Team UCPS. As a board member, as a parent, and a citizen of this county, I thank you all what you do. With that, Madam Chair, I submit my resignation to the Union County Board of Education, District 3, to be effective December 1st, 2024. Thank you all, and good evening. Thank you.
Announcements. I have one. Policy Committee on November 19 at 8 o'clock Zoom.
The Strategic Plan, Technology, and Transportation Committee, also known as the SPIC Committee, will meet at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, the 20th, via Zoom.
Facilities will follow that at 9 a.m. on November 20th, and then curriculum will be at 10 a.m. same day, all via Zoom.
Anything else? Seeing? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay.